Hi, I'm Michelle Hardy, and I wanted to talk to you about how you can market without trying too hard. Sometimes we're just scared. We're scared to even ask anyone to buy what we have to offer. It doesn't even have to be books. If you're starting a business or you have a product or you have something to sell and you just don't know how to do it, this is just a subtle way of doing it, but you're also making friends and you're not being pushy. One way that you can market your book without being so pushy, but you're scared, you are afraid to tell anybody about your book, ask anyone to buy your book. You are in fear of if I ask, they might say no. So, one way to do it is just to initially invite your friends over to have tea, coffee, brunch. Tell them, hey, bring a dish. I'm launching my book. I'm just going to be talking about the book and I'll be offering you a copy of the book so you can tell me what you thought about the book. Just a small group of friends that you know really love you and care for you, and they would not mind. This is a way just to initially start talking about it and getting comfortable with promoting your book. Another way that you can market your book, and I've mentioned this in another video, but why not here as well, is to host an event with a friend or be the host of the event. And then ask permission to bring some of your books so that when you're presenting, you can just basically say, hey, I have a book. And then have a small table where people can go and meet you at certain times throughout the event. If you're not presenting and someone's on stage, then you can sit at your table. And basically, if people want to walk over, occasionally they hop over to the restroom and then they hop over to your table and then back into the event. So, this is a subtle way, but you're providing a service to someone or a friend to be the host. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Miss ABC. And then that's your opportunity to go off stage, go to your table, and then basically sell your book or have small, tiny chats with the person about your book. Not in the event space, but outside. So you really need to pay attention to being the host, but also having this table. You can also ask someone to come help you to sell the book so that when people do jot off to the bathroom or restroom, then they can actually talk to someone all of the time. So you don't actually have to be at the table. And then after the event, you can sign your book for those people who purchased your book. Another way to market your book, and you're just like, oh, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do. But you do like attending events or places, restaurants, that type of thing. Host an event and then do a meet and greet. So you'd have some friends there to be like a buffer, and then your book would be there. You'd be hosting like wings and kombucha. This is one of my favorites. So people are going to come out because why? They love wings, they love kombucha. You make an arrangement with the restaurant. You want to host this event. You're going to have yourself there and maybe some other person with a non competing item. So, someone who doesn't have a book, but they have something else where this theme goes great with their product. So, they're going to sell, and you're going to sell your book, and you're hosting this great event where people can eat and drink and they're getting some great products in the process. But people love to go out after 5, just a casual 2 hour thing. I'm going to meet some new people. I'm going to go and see this author, be able to meet them, maybe get my book signed. And also, there's going to be another cute product, right? Excuse me. So you definitely want to do a non-compete item. So, it has to be someone who doesn't have a book, right? but they have something else that maybe complements your book. So maybe you don't make covers for books, but they do. They make cute, snazzy covers. So that might be a person, or a person who makes cute bookmarks, or like this one lady, she makes a cute holder. It's very fancy for your book and it looks like a purse. So that would be somebody who's ideal, that whatever book you have, you would invite them and say, hey, you want to partner and do this? And then maybe the cost or the expense, because everybody's going to be buying their food, right? They're going to be paying for their own food, but maybe there's a rental for the space itself. The restaurant wants to guarantee some type of money, so they may ask you to put down a down payment on just, occupying the space just in case. So that's something to think about as well. When you're marketing and you just are scared to do it, social media has made it very easy for us to be behind the scenes and not be seen talking. We don't even have to show our face. We can just show a picture of our hands and whatever product we're doing. And because the way that we do it, people buy the product. So, social media, like I said, is your friend. It could be your enemy too, but let's just say in this case, it can be your friend. You're going to be able to show your product. You don't need to show your face, but be on every part of social media that you can. There's some platforms that I do not do because I don't like to be overstimulated. That's the word today. But do the social media that works for you. I would start with Instagram and try to be as clever as possible. If you cannot think of how to make your content, then get a consultant, a coach to help you with the content. Hire someone to help you do it, and they will guide you and tell you what they need to make your content. It will benefit you greatly by doing this, investing in that part, but use every platform that you can to post your book or whatever product it is so that people see you and they see you all the time. Someone once said there's no such thing as overexposure. And if someone sees you all day, every day, they're more than likely to say, hey, yeah, I wanted to check that out. Or recommend your product, your book, to people because why? They've seen it all day. Because we know people are scrolling all day long. You might say, I'm nervous around people. I just don't know how I'm going to sell this book. I finally got to this stage and I don't know how I'm going to do it. Partnering with someone who is a little bit more outgoing than you may work in your favor. Meet other authors. Now, there's authors doing collaborations, so start meeting other authors who have a book that's different than yours. They are not in your genre, they're not even close to it. If you sniff around, you're like, nope, they're too far, they're way over there. So, you partner with them to do a genre event. And basically, you are finding other authors that have different books and you're saying, hey, let's all get together and host this great event to showcase our books. We'll also speak about our books and we'll invite our friends and our family. So each person says, okay, I'm going to invite 10 people. We're going to find one place. We're all going to partner and go in to make sure that we can secure the space. And sometimes you can do this like at a library or your local community center, right? And if you are charging for the event, say you're charging for just the snacks or what have you know, they may just say, okay, there's a little fee, right? But if you go to like maybe a nonprofit, they may let you do it. Like if you're charging, you can donate some of the proceeds to the nonprofit. That way, they're more than likely to say, yes, come use our space, because the funds are going to benefit that nonprofit, and then whatever revenue is made, then you'll get that, right? But at least you know that the initial fee will can go to something great, right? So just think about partnering, start making friends with other authors. You definitely know that their book is not like your book because you don't want to be competing in the room for someone's attention, and you do not know how to get people's attention. But you will also find that when you need to show up, you're going to show up for your book. So, for example, when you see other people interacting, you pay attention and then you just try to mimic that. And trust me, it will happen. You will be able to do it and you will be able to pull it off. It just comes slowly. I was one who, I did talk a lot as a kid, but not even realizing it. But I didn't really know that I was going to be able to get on a stage and speak to people and be able to stand up there without my voice shaking. And so the more and more I watched people, I got my own little groove and then I was able to do it. So you can do it as well. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Take care.